Hello and welcome to Mission Nonprofit. Mission Nonprofit is a monthly program that airs on Channel 22's on Thursday nights at 7:30 and Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Each month we feature a new nonprofit organization from Thurston County, and this month we're featuring a nonprofit organization that helps other nonprofits find volunteers, and it's the Volunteer Center. And with me is Sarah Ballard. Is it the Volunteer Center of Thurston County or the South Sound Volunteer Center?
It's the Volunteer Center of Lewis, Mason, and Thurston counties. So
Lewis, Mason, and Thurston.
Three counties, yeah.
Wow, big job.
A lot of very busy organization.
And so people just call you up when they want to volunteer.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And the great place is, we offer a lot of things to volunteers. We offer them one place to go with a website that features over 250 nonprofits and volunteer opportunities in all of those nonprofits. And we also have a volunteer matchmaker on staff that if you don't find what you want on the website, you can call them and they can talk to you more about what you're looking for and then match you up with some local volunteer opportunities.
You mentioned a website, and I want to go ahead and tell them the website. Those people out there watching, the website is www.volunteer.ws. So if you're interested in volunteering, they'll help you out. You're also here to help out nonprofits find volunteers.
Right. Well, we really have two customers, the volunteers and then volunteer managers or nonprofits who are looking for volunteers. And how we do that is, one, we support local volunteer managers with a local meeting called MAVA. They come and we do training, and then we talk about kind of what challenges they're having and try to help them problem solve. We provide technical assistance, which if you're a volunteer and you're serving on a board of directors or you're running an all-volunteer group, we provide things like advice on how to actually get the paperwork started for your nonprofit or how to build your board of directors, all kinds of things, direction towards fundraising strategies, things like that. We really look at volunteerism as a strategy to get things done and as a solution to service. So we really like to be involved in the strategy level with nonprofits of how they can get their mission accomplished with the resource of people's time.
It kind of sounds like AmeriCorps Vista, and I know you have some AmeriCorps Vista volunteers that work for the center.
Yep, we do. We actually run two statewide AmeriCorps Vista teams, one for the Volunteer Centers of Washington and then one for Washington State Retired Senior Volunteer Programs. So we have about 32 Vistas that we help support throughout the state.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, and the difference between what AmeriCorps Vista does is they really look at building the capacity of nonprofits. So they're there to start programs or help build a volunteer base for nonprofits, and that's just one type of volunteer that we help support.
Okay, so you support the AmeriCorps Vista volunteers.
Yeah,
okay.
Yep.
And you support them in finding a place for them to carry out their service and get started, and also what, people that are already working as AmeriCorps Vista?
Yeah, and it's not just AmeriCorps Vista. We offer support for any volunteer. So we have trainings available. One of them is Get On Board. If you're interested in being on a board of directors, or maybe you just started on a board of directors, this training outlines your responsibilities and what kind of things you should be doing and what you should be looking when you're looking at when you're at a board meeting, those types of things.
That's important.
And then we have another training called Volunteer Lead, and we are really focusing more on volunteer leaders and supporting them in the community. And what volunteer leaders are by our definition, are people who really know their community and they've figured out a gap or some sort of service or something that they want to do in their community to make it better. And then we help them figure out how to do that by connecting them to resources, to the people that they need to know in order to make that happen. And we provide training for them on project management or leadership, whatever they may need in order to move forward on their dream to help their community.
Yeah, that was one of the things you were telling me about that you help out with is the training. So you've got training to help people get on board. Get on board is the name of it.
Right.
And then the other one was the volunteer lead.
Yep.
Do you do any other training?
Yeah, we do. We do a lot of volunteer manager training. We have one coming up on March 24th called being a supervisor for volunteers, because a lot of it is relationships with volunteers. And as you can imagine, if you're a human resource manager in a corporation, you have training to do that. Well, here as a volunteer manager, even if you're a volunteer leading other volunteers, you need to have some skills in order to be able to do that. So we have all kinds of training, and that's just the next one that's coming up.
And I guess that sounds like training that people that are on staff at a nonprofit could use as well.
Yep.
Is that they can do that too? They
Yep,
can come to
both,
your volunteer trainings?
Yeah,
Well, that sounds excellent.
Yeah, we cater to both nonprofit staff and volunteers. But we realize in today's economy that a lot of nonprofits have let staff go, and a lot of responsibilities have fallen on to some of the volunteers. And so we open it up to both.
Mm-hmm. And right now, with the economy being bad, a lot of people are having a hard time with their tax preparations. And I know we just had a seminar that you guys did at the Olympia Center. Is that what it was?
Right.
And you were helping people out with their taxes.
Yeah, well, that was part of a bigger effort called the Economic Survival Fair. And it's one of my favorite things to talk about because it was an idea that was started by volunteers that this woman actually saw her neighbors hurting during the economic downturn. So these people have never had to use services before, and now they're at the point where they really need to, and they don't know what's available. So wouldn't it be great if we had all those services in one spot where they could visit for one day? And so the Economic Survival Fair started. And last month, we had over 50 organizations there talking about what kind of services they provide. And then we had free haircuts and free tax preparation. We had classes on financial management and how to cook healthy on a low budget, how to parent during stressful times. It's just a great event. The backside of that is we get all those nonprofits together in one room, and they don't normally aren't able to do that. So they talk about how they can provide services together better, which is a great
they got
thing.
to network amongst themselves.
Yeah, during the planning process and during the event. And then the second thing is, we served over 350 people came that day to look at services or get their hair cut, or some people got free clothing vouchers. It is a great event. And there's always some great stories. But my favorite part is the community lunch, not just because it's free food, but I really believe in a lot of why I do what I do is about social capital and building social capital, because it's really important that communities know each other because they can get more done that way. And one way to do that is to congregate around a meal. And so we have people who come in and help us cook, and then people eat and they get to know their neighbors that they have never met before. And that's a great part of that event too. And it just epitomizes what the Volunteer Center does, which a lot of what we do is bring people together to just help their community.
Was this the first time you did the Economic Survival Fair?
This is the second time.
Okay, so you did one last year. You going to do one next year?
It just depends. There's the interest.
Depends on the need.
Yeah, it depends on the need. And
Okay.
I'll be at the Volunteer Center about 2 years, and one of the things that we've done is really restructure the Volunteer Center to be flexible enough to meet community needs. So if something comes up, we can really move resources to do that rather than say, no, we can only do this year. And the Economic Survival Fair is a good example of that. And then this year we added the free tax prep sites, which we've been doing. We opened a site at the mall. We opened up a site at SPCC. So it just depends on what our partners and what the community needs, and that's really what we're about at the Volunteer Center, is meeting community need with volunteer time.
I want to get back to the tax preparation.
Okay.
But first, because I know tax season is coming and everybody needs that help.
Right.
But first, I want us to take a look at a video package that we produced about the Economic Survival Fair that we had last month. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more about helping people out with their taxes.
Great.
Today we are at the Economic Survival Fair, which is a product of a bunch of your neighbors in your community who were concerned about their fellow neighbors and knew that people were having a hard time, and they said, these people don't know what services are available in their community, and there's lots of great organizations here. And how can we get that information to them? So we developed the Economic Survival Fair, which we have over 40 organizations with us today. Places like UCAN and Community Youth Services and the Department of Financial Services. Lots of organizations today to bring information to people on how they might be able to survive these economic times. So new this year, we actually have free tax preparation, and a lot of people don't realize how much money they can get back with all the free tax credits this year. So volunteers are available to help in helping people get their taxes. There's also classes on how to cook on a low budget, healthy food on a low budget, parenting during tough economic times. Folks are learning how to save on their utility bills. There's lots of things going on. And then the last part is the community lunch, where anybody can join in, anybody can be here to talk to their fellow community members and just have a free lunch on the people who came together to put on the Economic Survival Fair.
Yeah, so today we are providing a free income tax assistance site. It's for low-income community members. We're doing this with the Asset Building Coalition. This is a pilot program. The Volunteer Center and the Asset Building Coalition are working together to establish this site. We estimate that there's over 70,000 people in our community that could take advantage of this service. So it's our first year doing it, and we're excited. We've had a great turnout. It's a great response. Actually, the income tax credit is one of the tax credits. It's the largest anti-poverty program that the government has. You know, millions of dollars every year are spent with this program, and millions of dollars go unclaimed every year also. It's designed specifically to lift low-income people out of poverty. So that's why we're here. We're here to make sure people are claiming that credit and helping them and providing them a free service. It's estimated about 20% of the people in our county right now are not claiming this credit, and they're eligible too, so that's a pretty big number. And then of the people that are claiming the credit in our county, 40% are using a paid preparer, and of those 40%, 20% are also using refund anticipation loans, which come with a substantial interest rate. So these are low-income clients spending about 10% of their refund on a paid preparer, which they don't need to do. They can come to us, and we offer this free service. And like I say, this credit is designed specifically to lift people out of poverty. So if they're spending 10 to 20% of the refund at a paid preparer, it's not really doing its job lifting people out of poverty, because a lot of our clients, they need the money to keep the lights on, pay the heating bill, pay the water bill. A lot of our clients are living paycheck to paycheck, and they really need this money. So we have a great group of volunteers. This whole tax campaign actually started a while ago. It takes a lot to get this going. So we recruit a lot of skilled volunteers, a lot of people from banks, and we recruit people from schools, and a lot of people that are just interested in accounting in general. They go through 2 pretty intensive days of training, and then they also take different certification tests. So all of our volunteers are certified. They've taken a test to be certified, so they're professional tax preparers and highly qualified to prepare tax returns. So everybody should come on down. You get a great service, free of charge.
Well, we have 13 volunteers right here, right now, in our organization that are preparing a meal, which is, a hoagie sandwich, chili, hot dogs, and chips and sodas and water and stuff like that. Well, I give Celine a list of some suggested items, and then she went out and purchased the stuff, and then that the money was donated from various organizations. And so we come in, once we realized what the need was, we just back planned, and we come in here a few hours early, start preparing the food and the hot meal, and making sure that sanitation and cleanliness is very important. We don't want to go out and prepare a meal and then get somebody sick. So it's a stickler with us that all our people have been trained. They go through the food handling course. They get their cards for food handling. And then for their expertise, everybody's volunteers. Nobody's paid, so we just do it because of what we love to do. That's serve people. And a lot of people don't know about us, and there are 90,000 volunteers nationwide from east to west of the United States, and we have something like over 2,000 plus kitchens and recovery vehicles where we respond to disasters throughout communities when we work in conjunction with the American Red Cross and the Salvation Army, and we're mainly noted for our cooking abilities, and that's how we got involved here. Celine needed some assistance, so got with her, we coordinated everything, and here we are, and it's going very well.
You know, it's just, this is really a perfect example of what the Volunteer Center does. A lot of people think that we are here to connect people with ways to serve, but this is a really creative way of ways people can serve their community. And we really encourage and support volunteers and their ideas. And we want people to be educated about their own community and the issues in their own community, and then come to us with ways they think that they might be able to solve that through volunteerism. And service is really a solution, and this is a perfect example of the way that people have used their time in order to organize something within their community to help solve community issues. Great example. Today is about giving people the skills and the information that they need in order to survive these hard economic times. So it's all about teaching the man to fish today. And we came together with businesses and community organizations and volunteers. Lots of different people came together to put this thing on today. And it really is about giving people the skills so that they can help themselves.
Welcome back to Mission Nonprofit. We were just watching a package from the Economic Survival Fair that the Volunteer Center put on last month. And again, with me is Sarah Ballard. We're talking about the Volunteer Center. So that looked like a very successful event. And I saw a lot of nonprofit booths out there. UCAN's booth was in the background. And the organization that fed people, was it the Northwest Baptist?
Yeah, the Baptist group, and they actually, our connection through them is through a long-term recovery organization. So this is where it pays for us to know a lot of communities and be in a lot of things, and they helped us out for the Economic Survival Fair. It was very nice of them to do that.
And is that something they regularly do for people of low income?
Yeah, usually their main thing is through disaster. They feed people during times of disaster. And so luckily we haven't had a lot of those this year. So, they had some downtime. Yeah.
They need to keep their skills current.
Exactly.
And
we were happy to accommodate them in that.
That's great.
Yeah. Yep.
A win-win situation for both of you.
Yep.
Before we left, we were talking about tax preparation and helping low-income people with their taxes. And you guys are doing some clinics, or you've just finished some clinics, but there are other clinics out there.
Yeah. Well, all of this is part of the Asset Building Thurston County Asset Building Coalition, and they actually have a website out there that has, and you can Google them, and they have financial literacy classes, which you can learn how to save and what to do about credit card debt. And then the other thing is that we have all the free tax prep sites available. And so both AARP and the Volunteer Center were putting on tax prep sites. And we just helped fill in some of the gaps. AARP was doing a lot. And we put on some at the mall and SPCC also this year and opened those up. So we've been very successful with those sites. But they continue till tax day, April 15th.
I went to one of those sites today at Tumwater Library.
Great.
And it was very easy. You take a number, you sit down with, once they call your number, it didn't take that long. They call your number, you go up there for an initial interview, and then they send you into the accountants, I guess, the people that really help you with
Who
your
are
taxes.
all volunteers.
And they're all volunteers, and it's totally 100% free.
Yep.
So I want to mention some of the places that AARP is having those. In Tumwater, at the Tumwater Library, on Monday and Wednesdays from 1 to 5. In Olympia, at the Community Center, I guess that's the Olympia Center? Is the Community Center? The Olympia Center. On Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 4. And in Lacey at the library, Tuesdays and Thursdays 12:30 to 4:30, and Saturdays 12 to 4. And then there's also one in Yelm at the Adult Community Center, Wednesdays and Fridays 2 to 6. So hopefully people out there that need help with their taxes can take advantage of that free service.
Yeah, and if you're interested in helping out next year too and volunteering, feel free to call us, and we'll be able to take your name and let you know when the next trainings are for next year. So.
All right, all those people out there that can help out with taxes is what you're looking
Well,
for?
we actually, the volunteer tax preparers are not regular tax preparers.
Oh, yeah.
They've had to go through some pretty hefty training through the IRS, and we actually put on that training this year. We trained about 35 tax preparers, and ARP has about 45 to 50 tax preparers. And they're volunteers who are very good with numbers and very good with people is our other requirement. And they go through a series of tests that they have to take, and then you see them at the tax sites. So.
Well, that's great that they do that.
Yeah. Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, so we are coming up on Volunteer Month soon.
Right, in
Yeah.
April. We're
Yeah,
very
April, so
excited.
next
It's
month.
our favorite month. So, yeah, actually, we have a lot of stuff going on at the Volunteer Center, and our biggest thing is how can you get connected, and we really want to meet people where they are. So the first thing that we did is one is we've been expanding where we are and the events that we put on. We have new programs like Next Chapter and Executive Service Corps, and we had to expand our offices. We actually have a brand new office that we've moved to downtown in the old Montgomery Ward building on 4th Avenue. And we're going to have an open house on Procession of the Species Day, which is the first day of Volunteer Week. So that'll be fun. And also, that's a great place. We're going to have all the information available for our Summer of Service, which I'll talk about later. And then the other things that are going on are the Governor's Service Awards, where we get to go to the Governor's Mansion, and she recognizes people from across the state. And we help support that effort. And then the Mariners game, which you were very interested in, has volunteer night that week too. And the Mariners were very nice and offered discount tickets to volunteers during that night, and you can go to the game. And we help facilitate that at the Volunteer Center so people from Olympia and Thurston County can sit together during the game. So it's a fun week. It's a fun month
Sounds
for the
like it.
Volunteer Center. You'll see us do a lot of articles and things like that during that month. So it's a great time to say thank you to all the people who currently volunteer and educate people about some other things that they may be able to volunteer for in their community.
I want to get back to the Mariners game.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're taking some of your volunteers that help out
Yeah.
with your organization. Actually, they're probably helping out with other organizations,
Right.
am I right? But
Right. Well,
they're
yeah,
kind of going through you.
Yeah, we help over 4,000 volunteers get connected every year to local nonprofits. But we ourselves, in order to do things and events that the Volunteer Center puts on, we have over 300 volunteers. And we have a group of about 32 of them that do medical transportation for us. We run a medical transportation program where we take folks to doctor's appointments. The medical transportation crew loves to go to the Mariners game. So they'll be going again this year and taking their families. So it's a nice treat for them.
And who will be transporting them?
I know. Well,
This time, do you have a carpool system set up?
I don't know. They have to work that out.
They've been transporting people all year.
I know they need a
now
break,
this time.
don't
Yeah,
they?
that's right.
Yeah, we'll have to work that in there. But most
You
of
have
them
to get some other
actually,
volunteers.
they volunteer because they like to drive. So they like
Maybe
to drive
they
their
will,
own. Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
They'll just drive. Okay.
Exactly.
And so now other nonprofits in Thurston County can get in touch with you about this Mariners event to get these discount tickets.
Right.
Is that
Yep.
they'd go through you?
Yep, they
Contact
can.
you
It's
through
a
their-
great, inexpensive way to recognize your volunteers. So we provide several opportunities for nonprofits to recognize their volunteers. This is just one of them during that week. The second one is we do Volunteer of the Week through the Olympian. And we help nonprofits recognize their volunteers through that. And then we pick one of those to go to the Governor's Service Awards. So I can't tell you who it is yet because it's top secret. But you'll know in a couple weeks. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So the last week of April is the Volunteer Week.
Yep, where all the fun events happen. But we celebrate the whole month.
Yeah.
We can't limit it to just a week. We have too much going on. So
So much going on. Nice.
yep.
So you mentioned something about. You mentioned something about a summer of service.
Yeah.
That's this year's kind of summer theme.
So fun. So we started it last year. President Obama really launched his kickoff for volunteerism as a nation last summer. So we followed suit and we started the Summer of Service last year. And we've we did a lot of fun events. We did Eco Impact Day and September 11th, lots of things. But this year starts out with speed dating for the socially conscious. So that's
Whoa.
a fun event. We did that once. We're going to do it again. And then actually, we're looking at, we really encourage people to be inspired by volunteer opportunities. So we're planning a trip to go somewhere and look at how another community is solving community issues, so then those folks can come back and report how other places are getting it done. So we're planning a trip to do that. And then we'll have some other events scheduled. But one of the things that we're really going to focus on this year is giving people the tools to create their own events in their own home and in their own neighborhood to volunteer. And helping what we call, again, the volunteer leaders to really do projects on their own. So you'll see a list of fun opportunities that will be available during the months of June, July, and August. And summer service for us ends on the National Day of Remembrance, which is September 11th, which again is a National Day of Service. So,
okay. Let's go back to your website. Let's mention that again. It's www.volunteer.ws.
right.
Now, people can go to that website and they can, if they want to volunteer, then you can help them with mentoring. And you said there was a volunteer matchmaker.
Yes.
Right?
Well, yeah, we have more than one. We have,
Okay,
we
you
have
have
quite a few.
lots of volunteer matchmakers, so that
Yep.
they'll help them match up with a nonprofit that maybe they share interests with.
Right, right.
And then local nonprofits can go there if they need, also they can go there for training.
Right,
as
for
well.
training and to find volunteers, or to help us help develop a strategy around volunteerism for their nonprofit too.
Okay.
So
Well, Sarah, we've got about a minute left. Is
Okay.
there anything that we didn't go over that you wanted to mention before we go off the air for today?
yeah, we have great programs that just started called Next Chapter and Executive Service Corps, and they're really geared at the baby boomer generation, and they offer life and career coaching. They also offer some free college classes so you can get your skills up to go volunteer somewhere. So I really want to encourage people to contact our office to find out more about that, because we are recruiting folks for both of those programs right now.
Okay. Well, great.
right. Thanks.
Well, I hope people will go out and visit your website and
Yeah.
get more involved.
Yeah, we're a service, and please use us because we're here to support you.
All right, great. Well, that's all the time we have for this month's Mission Nonprofit. I'm Robert Cam. We'll see you next time.